Okay, so welcome along tonight. I'm Helen. I am a local hypnotherapist. I'm based in Warkworth, and I've been working with hypnotherapy for over 15 years now. When I first started out, I was using hypnotherapy just to help pregnant couples have a much more, shall we say, positive birth experience. I'm still doing that now. I've taught thousands of couples in New Zealand and overseas tools and techniques with hypnotherapy to help them have a more comfortable, easier and nicer birth experience. I have also used lots of hypnotherapy to help couples after baby arrives, to help them with stress, anxiety, with breastfeeding. I have then used hypnotherapy for people with all sorts of general anxiety issues, addictions, fears, phobias, trauma, you name it. There's a whole lot of stuff out there. One of the fun things to do, though, is to help people feel better about themselves, to feel more comfortable, and to lose that extra weight. And that's why I thought it would be nice to be able to offer a little bit of an information session and to give you something to help you on your journey if you're thinking about feeling better and losing some weight over the next few weeks, the next few months. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about what hypnosis is, okay, and hypnotherapy, and how it can help with weight loss. Then what I'm going to teach you is a little breathing exercise, and we're going to enjoy a relaxation exercise. So a hypnosis, a relaxation exercise. After that, I'm going to talk about how you can use this stuff to move forward and achieve your goals. And I'm going to ask you to then reply to an email that I'm going to send to you to help me create an exercise for you to be able to listen to, so that you can then carry on with your goals moving forward for as long as you want. So first up, let's talk about hypnosis and what hypnosis actually is. So first up, hypnosis, the state of hypnosis and self-hypnosis is really a very natural, normal state that, believe it or not, you have heaps of experience with. It's a state where you're fully aware and in control. And really important to know that nobody can actually hypnotize you. I cannot hypnotize you. You allow yourself to go into this state of focused attention and relaxation. So a normal, natural state, and it's often involved, it's often involving focusing your attention and relaxing. And tonight I'm going to give you an example of how you can focus your attention on relaxing in order to get into this really lovely state. So this state is very familiar to you because you've experienced it many times. The state of self-hypnosis is the same state that you've experienced times when you've been drifting off to sleep. And let's face it, we go off to sleep every night. So you know the time when you're lying in bed and you can maybe hear the rain on the roof or the wind in the trees, or you can hear other noises. Maybe you can hear your partner's breathing change, or somebody snoring, or whatever it might be. And you're kind of in that light state of sleep where you're aware of what's going on around you. And then the next thing you know, you're waking up. Okay, it's that in-between state, in between being wide awake and fast asleep. Same type of state as when you're waking up out of sleep. Sometimes you're like, you've got a dream going on in your head, but you're aware that, say maybe it's getting lighter, or you can hear the birds or something like that, and you know that you're coming out of sleep. So that is the same state as a state of self-hypnosis. It's also the same state as you find yourself in when you're focusing on what's going on in a screen. So if you can recall a time you're watching a really good show, a really good movie, and maybe it was a bit scary and you felt yourself tense up and you feel a little bit scared, or you're worried for what's happening in the movie, you are in that state of focused attention. Sometimes when we get so far into it, we have to remind ourselves this is not true. Okay, it's the same state, focusing in on something. And it's also the same state that you will have most likely experienced when you're driving. Highway hypnosis is something that we often experience. Now, this comes from the fact that when we drive, we've been driving for many years. So if you cast your mind back to when you first learned to drive, you would never have gotten into that state of highway hypnosis. You're very conscious, you're very aware of what's going on, and you're thinking and concentrating. But as we get used to the process of driving, it becomes an automatic reaction to jump into the car and to just start driving, and we can think about other things. We can let our mind wander, and meanwhile, the automatic pilot is just doing the driving. So it's the same type of state as that. We also are usually not aware that hypnosis is working for us all the time when we're hearing information repeated over and over and over again. Now, something that I found very amusing, I have never dialed this phone number in my life, but I can tell you the number for Pizza Hut. And you probably know it too. Simply because at a certain time in history, that number was repeated on our media over and over and over again. 0800 83 83 83. And that is how stuff gets into us with repetition. Okay, that's how companies actually use repetition as almost as a way of hypnotizing us. Okay, so we've all experienced that. Okay, also a state of emotion with repetition, feeling good, feeling scared, feeling angry, whatever it might be, that is also a really powerful state of hypnosis. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. Now, how does it feel when you get into that state of self-hypnosis, get into that state of simply relaxation? And what it can feel like is that you could be sitting or lying there, and you can feel like your mind is totally alert, totally awake, totally aware, but your body might be feeling a little bit different. It almost might be like your body's asleep. So it can feel, your body can almost feel like parts of it are feeling really light, parts of it feeling heavy. You might notice a drifting or a floating sensation, or you might not notice anything. Might not be anything that you feel except for just a state of, oh, I'm just sitting here, I'm lying here with my eyes shut. Or it could feel like a really deep sense of relaxation. There's no one type of hypnotized sensation, okay? There's no right and no wrong. And there might be moments in a hypnotherapy session or moments when you're listening to a relaxation track when you find yourself becoming so deeply interested in what I'm saying and really noticing what I'm saying, but there could be times also where you feel like your mind has just wandered off to who knows where and you're thinking about other things. And that's all okay. You will respond to sounds, you will respond to suggestions as you need to, and other sounds will fade away. And it's quite possible you could be doing a little relaxation exercise and someone in the house has been quite noisy or there's other noises going on around for you and they won't bother or disrupt you. You know that they're there, but you're not focusing in on them. So when we get into the state of focused attention, when we get into the state of relaxation, this is where the magic happens. This is where we have access to what's known as the subconscious part of our mind. So on the screen here now, you have a picture of an iceberg. And this represents our mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And as you can see there, the top of the iceberg, the little bit that's out of the water represents our logical mind, our rational mind. Conscious mind is the mind that's going to argue back with us. It's going to weigh things up. It's the critical part of our mind. What lies beneath the subconscious mind is really like a loyal, obedient servant. It's the mind of the body. Notice how much bigger the stuff underneath is. Now, that top part of the iceberg, the conscious mind, that can think about the future. It can analyze the past. I should have done this. I shouldn't have done that. It can solve problems in our head. It can create the perfect scenario for you in your life, but it actually only runs 5% of what happens in our life. It's the programs that are downloaded into that the lower part of the iceberg, into the subconscious, that have the biggest influence on us. Now, what lies beneath the subconscious mind is the center of our memory, our emotions, events that happen to us, the events that happen to us. And what the subconscious mind is really good at doing is just playing out the same responses to what's happening in our life. And you could say that the subconscious mind is really determined to try and keep us safe, but it has a huge effect on the way that we live our life. Now, what's super interesting to know, the first 7 years of our lives is when everything goes straight into the subconscious mind. So what we experience as kids can get lodged into our very inner being by lodging itself into the subconscious, because it goes straight in there. That becomes part of the programs that we operate on. What we experience in the first 7 years has a huge influence on our personalities, on our behaviors, the way that we see, perceive, view the world, and our habits. So it's interesting to think, when we think about our weight, what were you told as a kid? Were you told to finish everything on your plate? Were you told that you had to be a good person and, eat up your dinner? There's other children who don't have this food, eat it up. Are some of your best memories about making, enjoying food? Is food associated as one of the most pleasurable things in your life because of how it was as a kid? Just thoughts. Because often what's happened as a kid for us can have a huge effect on how our relationship is with food and with our bodies from a really, really young age. Also, what we experience as children can affect us. These are other subject matters, money, always towing the line or being a good girl, fear of spiders, things like that. So your conscious mind can do a really good job of saying, right, I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat this. I'm going to lose 5 kilos. I'm going to exercise every day. I'm going to eat less and do all of that. And yes, you can do that. But if there is a program, a strong program in the subconscious mind, it will override it every time. So if there is an underlying belief, I don't deserve to look good, I'm not good enough, I'm at a certain age in my life right now where it's really hard to lose weight. It's a painful experience, losing weight. I hate being hungry. Those types of thoughts, if those programs are deeply embedded with you, then your body is always going to respond to the programs that are in your subconscious. So it makes it so much harder, in fact, almost impossible, to override them without changing the programs in your subconscious mind. Okay. We get a lot of programs in the first 7 years of our lives. Okay, so that sets us up for life. But after the age of 7, things have to filter through the top part of the iceberg, through the conscious mind. Okay. So after the age of 7, one really great way of filtering things through into the subconscious mind is with repetition. Repetition and emotions is powerful hypnosis. Okay. So after the age of 7, we can easily download unhelpful programming through times of heightened emotions when we have trauma. Okay. And then experiences where there's been fear and things that have been repeated. But a positive emotion with repetition is also very, very powerful too, to download a new program into that subconscious. So this is why in a program where we would be talking or helping you to lose weight, we would often be focusing on what makes you feel really good. Every time I look in the mirror, I notice the changes that are taking place and I feel amazing. I'm looking forward to being on the beach and, feeling awesome there, feeling awesome in my togs. I'm looking forward to, I really, it's going to feel really good to fit into the clothes that I haven't been able to fit into. Naturally gravitating towards foods that make me feel good and are good for me, and I'm feeling comfortable and relaxed eating out in public or around in social events. So getting the good feeling. So it's often about getting your particular good feeling happening, associating that with the positive suggestions, and then repeating that over and over again to download that program into the mind. So we download things through that state of hypnosis and relaxation and repetition. It allows us to download new programs, new ideas, new beliefs, and behaviors, so that what you're trying to achieve becomes almost like an automatic response. And obviously, it makes it a whole lot easier to achieve. Now, I do have to mention, it's not a magic wand, this hypnosis stuff. I'm not just going to wave a wand and it's going to make everything amazing for you. It doesn't work if you don't want it to. So if there's something in your mind like, oh yeah, no, I'm not really fussed on achieving this goal. You can ignore everything that is said. You can ignore all of my suggestions if you want to. If you don't have any motivation or desire to achieve the outcome, or just a really low motivation, oh, it might be nice, it's probably not going to work for you. If you're better off being the weight you are, or feeling the way you are, or, if there's some gain to not change, it's not going to work. And if you don't believe it, it's definitely not going to work. If you don't put any practice in, and the practice that I refer to is listening to an audio track. Okay. And if your goals are unrealistic, I mean, if you're not a bad weight, or, if 70 kgs, for example, was your normal healthy weight, you thought, oh, right, it would be great to lose 20 kilos to see what I look like if I was 50 kgs. That would be an unrealistic expectation. So if your goals are unrealistic, and of course, nothing works without taking any action, and action is really, really powerful. So you're probably aware of common reasons that people don't lose weight. This is all common sense stuff. If you're eating rubbish, and you're eating heaps of rubbish, and if you're eating massive plates of food, and if you've got lots of bad habits, you're snacking all the time, or you start a diet on Monday and by Tuesday, you're off it again. If you're binge eating, if you're drinking loads of alcohol, those are all fairly common reasons, along with, not exercising, of why you wouldn't lose weight. If you're mindlessly eating, so not being aware of what you're eating, not enjoying the food, or you're just eating because you're bored, there's nothing else to do, or you just find yourself opening the fridge 10 times a day to see what you can eat. Stress. If you're constantly in a state of stress, if your body's stressed, if you're operating in a state of stress most of the time, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to lose weight. Okay. And quite often I will have people come to me for, their goal is to, lose a certain amount of weight, or whatever it might be, fit their clothes, or, they know that they need to lose weight. And when we start to delve into other areas of their life, we actually have to address some other things first in order for them to release, relax, let go, for their body to be in a state where it can lose weight. Because if we're stressed, if we're constantly running on adrenaline, it makes it very difficult. Your beliefs have a huge effect. If you genuinely think that you're not good enough, if you have a certain story, and this can be really interesting. So there was a lady I worked with who, as a young child, her nickname from her dad was Elephant. Oh, my little elephant. It was meant in the nicest possible way. Her cousin heard this and started calling her elephant legs. All through her childhood, she was referred to as an elephant. Now, an elephant is, we don't think of elephants as being these lovely, graceful, thin kind of types of bodies. An elephant, most people think, it's a large body. And as a result of her believing she was an elephant, or just having that idea planted, she's like an elephant, this was her biggest thing she needed to overcome, getting rid of the belief that she is an elephant. Now, that might seem hilarious, but once we got rid of that belief, her body then was able to let go of the extra weight, so that she no longer believed on a subconscious, on a really deep level, that she was in fact the size of an elephant. Protecting oneself is another reason why some people hold on to weight that they don't need. And that can be from, shall we say, traumatic experiences. If they've been abused as a child or as a teenager, and it's not safe for them to look attractive. If it's not safe for you to look attractive, or if you found yourself in a compromised situation because the other sex were, you were attractive. Some people do find, and this is, not uncommon, if they don't want to be getting into trouble, shall we say, their body will reflect that, and they will not look the way that they think they want to look, because the body is actually holding on to stuff to protect itself. And other reasons people don't lose weight can be from emotions. And this is actually quite a big topic, but your emotions, your relationship with food, or your relationship with people in your family, or relationship with your parents as you're growing up. That's something that needs to be delved into as well, to let go of in order to help move forward. Now, I use different techniques for different issues. Okay. And the two most popular techniques are suggestive and regression. So suggestive hypnotherapy is something that you're going to experience tonight, where I just talk about positive things. And this is where I'm going to make up a track for you. Positive suggestions about how you want to look, how you want to feel, your behaviors. For example, you find it easy to choose the right foods to eat. You find yourself naturally eating mindfully, eating slowly, stopping when you begin to feel that full, satisfied feeling. And noticing how easy it is to become more satisfied on smaller amounts of food, and more natural to leave food on the plate. And those are just generic suggestions about how your behaviors are changing. Like affirmations, positive statements. That's right, I feel lighter. I feel more confident. And as I feel more confident and lighter, I enjoy eating less food. I enjoy leaving food on my plate. I honor and I respect my body. Those types of affirmations, statements that are repeated over and over again, just positive stuff, feeding that into the subconscious so that those become programs that you operate on. The other style of hypnotherapy is really to dig a little bit deeper, and that's to help change things and release unhelpful programs, and release maybe the emotions, maybe the feelings. And regression really is about getting to the root cause of a behavior. Because when you're in a relaxed state, we have access to all sorts of memories. Some of them you've got no memory of consciously, but there's a memory in the subconscious. So what we can do is, in hypnosis, is we can take a little journey back in time. And it might be that you went back to a teenager. It might be that you go back to a younger child. It might be that you go back into your preschool years. Some people go back to the time as a baby, or even in the womb. And what we can do is we can gain a new perspective of the experience. It's not always a bad experience, but it's an experience that's created a program which is now affecting you today. And sometimes it's incredible what comes up. Sometimes it's completely irrelevant. And just to use an example of somebody that I was working with, in one session, we managed to track a feeling that she had. So this was a problem with eating loads of crap food, getting this feeling in her body from this emotion. And just, she was wanting to suppress it with food, and she was eating loads of food and rubbish food, etc. And this would happen every time she was triggered with this feeling. And what we did was, in a state of hypnosis, a state of relaxation, we followed that feeling back. And that came up as a time when she was about 4 years old. And she fell off her bike. She'd grazed her knee. And she went to find her dad to help fix up her knee. And he happened to be around the back of the house chopping wood. Now she's like, Dad, I've grazed my knee. And he just jokingly picked up, had the axe in his hand. He goes, oh, wow, we'll just chop it off. And, a bit of a joke from an adult, but that created a feeling in her. Now, that had nothing to do with eating, but what happened was, later on in life, when that feeling was triggered, she wanted to suppress it with food. We released that feeling. She released about 20 kilos. Amazing. Now, that was one session out of 5. but that for her, that was a critical point to helping her lose weight. So it was pretty amazing. I must mention the virtual gastric band program, which is really popular for people wanting to lose weight. It is a very comprehensive program. It's a great program, really, really helpful for people who've got a decent amount of weight to lose, people who've got very bad habits. And what happens in this program is where through the power of the mind, the power of the imagination, we imagine there is a band fitted around the top of our stomach. And this enables your imagination, or shall we say your subconscious mind, to become very aware of the food that you eat so that you feel a lot fuller, a lot faster, cutting down portion sizes. And we combine that with a lot of positive suggestions. We combine that also with regression for any emotions that might come up. And it enables people to very effectively lose weight. So in the right situations, that is a great program too. What I want you to hopefully take away tonight is the fact that your mind is so much more powerful than you can imagine. If we can download positive programs and take action with it, that's a really great recipe for success. So what we're going to do now is do a little breathing and a relaxation exercise. Now, if anyone does have any questions, feel free to ask after we do the relaxation exercise, or feel free to ask now if you want to. But after we do the relaxation exercise, I will be stopping the recording. And then if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask, you can ask at that point in time. But also if there's any particular questions you want to ask, you can feel free to send me an email, which I can respond to after our session. So what I'd like to share with you is a little breathing technique to help you ensure that you are in what's known as the relaxation response. And if you recall before, I talked about if the body is stressed, it's hard to lose weight. If you are running around in the state of adrenaline, if you're running around that fight or flight state, which a lot of people are when we, in states where we lead really busy lives, if we're stressed, if we're worried, etc., we can be operating out that fight or flight state quite a lot. And in that state, the body can't heal, the body can't move forward. Body's not going to let go of extra weight. And so to help initiate that, 3 nice breaths will send the message to your body that it's safe for you to release, safe for you to relax, safe to let go. Now, it involves breathing in and out through the nose, if possible. If you can't breathe in and out through your nose, you can breathe in and out through your mouth, but ideally in and out through the nose. And what I might suggest that you do is pop your hands on your stomach around your belly button and notice the rise and fall of your stomach, because we really want to make sure we're breathing into the stomach, not up in the chest, down in the stomach. So we're going to do a little bit of a practice of that breath as we start a relaxation exercise. So hopefully what you will notice is that as you breathe in, your stomach expands, so your hands sort of come apart. And as you exhale, as you breathe out, the hands come back down. Now we're going to breathe in for around about the count of 4. Nice deep breath in through the nose to the count of 4. And then let that breath all the way out to the count of 8. So the out breath is twice as long as the in breath. And it's that actual out breath. There's a lot of science behind this breathing. I won't bore you with the science, but it's all about triggering the vagus nerve in the back of your throat, which then sends a message to your autonomic nervous system. It's safe to relax. So we breathe in for about 4 and we let that breath all the way out to the count of 8. And we do that 3 times. 3 times to send that message to your body. And then we just let our breathing return to its natural, normal state. That's actually pretty easy. It's pretty simple. It's very, very effective. So in a few moments, what I will do is talk you through this breathing and this relaxation exercise. Now, in the relaxation exercise, after we've done those 3 breaths, I'm just going to tell you to just pretend, just imagine, just allow yourself to relax down through your body. We're going to focus our attention on relaxing. And so all you need to do is to just focus in on the words that I'm saying and the sound of my voice. Now, it will be helpful if you're not going to be interrupted. So hopefully you're in a quiet space right now, and hopefully you've got your phone on silent, okay, or your device or whatever could interrupt you, okay. Now, there's no right, there's no wrong with this exercise. All you need to do is just pretend, just imagine, just get the idea. As I talk about things such as, your eyelids, all those muscles becoming heavier, and your eyelids closing more comfortably, and your cheeks feeling softer, and your shoulders sinking. And you're just going to think about that and pretend that it might be happening, and you might feel it happening, you might not, and you might. Just allow, just get the idea of it. And what happens is I'm going to talk all the way down through the body, and by the time I get to the tips of your toes, it's quite possible that you're in this comfortable state of relaxation, still hearing my voice. Now, the very worst thing that could happen is that you fall asleep. Would that be the very, very worst thing? Maybe, maybe not. Most people do find when they listen to the exercises I make for them that they fall off to sleep. They might listen to it at a time at night where they can drift off to sleep. And the most common comment I get all the time is that, I came to you for XYZ, but I'm sleeping so much better. And that's always a good thing. Or shall we say, I've achieved this and I am now sleeping really, really well. So the worst thing that happens is you fall asleep, but your subconscious mind is still alert and aware for around about 45 minutes after you've fallen asleep. So anything that I'm saying is usually not longer than 15 or 20 minutes. You'll always get it. Even your subconscious mind picks it up. Consciously, you're not aware of it. Subconsciously, you're going to be getting it. So that's the worst thing that could happen tonight, is that you fall asleep. And what happens is, as we let go, as we relax, as we focus in on the words, that conscious part of our mind becomes more relaxed. The subconscious part of your mind becomes more alert, more aware, and that's where the magic happens. That's where we can take on board the positive suggestions. So tonight, I'm just going to give you just a few generic positive suggestions around feeling good, around eating, those types of things. And then at the end of the exercise, what I will do is count from 1 up to 5. And on the count of 5, you'll be ready to open your eyes and you feel alert and aware and back in the room again. So are you ready to give this a little go? If you're not already in a comfortable position, just move yourself into a comfortable position. That could be sitting, could be lying, any way that you like. And as you're sitting or as you're lying there, know that if you need to move position, you can do that. It won't disrupt your state of relaxation. If you needed to itch your face or move your leg, you can do that. And just when you're ready, just let your eyelids softly close. And you might like to place your hands on your stomach, around your tummy button, and just notice. Notice your breath. Notice your breathing. Notice the in-breath. Notice the out-breath. And notice if there is any movement in your stomach as you breathe There's no right. There's no wrong. You're just simply observing right now. And in a moment, we're going to take 3 nice deep breaths together. We're going to breathe in to the count of 4, and we're going to exhale to the count of 8. Breathing in and out through the nose, and really focusing on breathing into the stomach, expanding that stomach on the in-breath. So getting ready to take a nice deep breath in now, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And once more, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now just breathing gently, breathing at your own pace, breathing comfortably, breathing easy. And start to place your attention and your focus on all the tiny, tiny muscles in and around your eyelids. And as you focus on those tiny muscles, just imagine, just pretend, just get the idea that those tiny muscles are becoming loose and limp and soft and relaxed and lazy. That's right. Those muscles, so lazy, they don't even want to open. And you can just allow now that same sense of relaxation to melt down over your cheeks as you let go of any expression that's resting on your face. And you become aware of your mouth and your jaw. And just allow your lower jaw to sink, to droop down. As you let all the muscles in your face become loose and limp and soft and relaxed. And that relaxation continues to travel down through your neck into your shoulders. You can just allow your shoulders to sink into the frame of your body, or sink into whatever you were resting or lying on. And you can imagine now, or just pretend, that relaxation is like a soft mist, or maybe a warm liquid. It's just gently pouring down the tops of your arms, melting over your elbows, moving its way down through your lower arms, around your wrists, into your hands and your fingers, so that your arms now, just like your eyelids, are loose and limp and soft and relaxed. And with every breath, you allow yourself to relax even further. That's right. Relaxation moving down through your chest, drifting, floating, melting over your stomach, down into your hips. Relaxation floating through the tops of your legs, drifting over the knees, moving further down through your lower legs, softly around your ankles, into your feet, and all the way through to the tips of your toes. Whole body soft, whole body relaxed, with every breath helping you to relax just that little bit further. That's good. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 5 down to 1. And with each number, your powerful mind doubles your state of relaxation, allowing you to go further and deeper into this wonderful state. And so here we go. 5. Every breath you take is guiding you further, guiding you deeper. 4. Your mind is becoming focused and clear. 3. As you allow your body to let go, loose, limp, soft. 2. Deeper, deeper down. 1. Feeling so good, feeling relaxed. And from this beautiful relaxed space, we can talk to that part of you, that very powerful part of your mind that is open to the suggestions being made. And you know, each and every day, that part of you is choosing to live a more healthy lifestyle, because you find it easy to choose the right foods to eat. You find yourself naturally eating mindfully, eating slowly, and stopping when you begin to feel that full and satisfied feeling. You notice how easy it is to become more and more satisfied on smaller amounts of food. And you find it more natural to just leave food on your plate, knowing that it is much better back in the fridge or even in the bin, rather than sitting in your stomach and weighing you down. Because your body's not a rubbish bin, and you do not need to fill it with rubbish. And eating less and moving more is this new version of you, a you that you appreciate more and more. And the more you notice how much you appreciate your new habits, the more deeply fascinated you become with how good it feels to feel more in control. How good it feels to feel healthier, lighter, and freer. And each and every day, you are taking a positive step towards achieving your goal. And as you look in the mirror each day, you find that your eyes are naturally drawn towards the parts of your body where the weight is shifting. You feel so proud of your achievements, and your confidence is growing daily. And the more you notice these changes, the more determined you become to continue on this journey, to notice, to feel the benefits of taking back control of your life, to feel really, really good about yourself, because it's such a good feeling. And now, from that space of relaxation, it's time to come back into the room. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 up to 5. And at the count of 5, you'll open your eyes, feeling alert, feeling aware, feeling refreshed, and feeling really good. 1, feel the energy coming back into your body, coming back. 2, every muscle, every nerve, every cell in your body is revitalized and energized, and you feel wonderfully good. 3, from head to toe, feeling perfect in every way. 4, hands and feet beginning to wriggle and move. 5, eyes open now, alert, aware, calm, refreshed, and feeling good. Okay, so if you haven't drifted off to sleep, hopefully you haven't, what's going to happen next? I hope you enjoyed that little relaxation track, and understand if it's the first time you've done something like this, it might have been a new experience for you. You might have been analyzing, am I relaxed? Am I not relaxed? And really, as I said, there's no right, there's no wrong. But what I will tell you is that with practice, this becomes an easier state to go into, quicker, faster, deeper, etc. And it will become something that you probably look forward to and probably enjoy. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to send you an email. It'll probably be tomorrow that I send the email. And I'm just going to ask you, what would be the most important thing for you to achieve? Because then I'm going to create you a special relaxation track, which might be quite similar to the one that we just did, but it might also have some specific things in there for you, okay, that might also be relevant for other people. Now, after I've created that, and it might take me a couple of days, I've got a really busy day tomorrow and Friday, so it might take a couple of days. It might be Monday that I send this to you. After I send this to you, it's up to you what you do with it. If you listened to it every day for 28 days, it's probably going to make a decent difference for you, okay? It takes 28 days to form a habit, okay? Now, for some people, they might listen to a couple of times, and yes, it has an impact on them. But I would always recommend listen to something for 28 days, because that's where you're going to get the habit shifting stuff, and that's where you're going to get the most success. And then you can notice the changes from there. The most important thing is for you to enjoy it, because it doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be horrible. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be nasty. You want to be able to enjoy these changes, because this is all about you feeling better. Now, obviously, if you've got any other questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. Okay, you'll have my email, you've got my details to look up my website. Get in touch if there's anything else that I can help you with to help make your journey even easier, to make it more effective. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is take us off record. Where is it?